Good evening. I'm a little bit flustered as Facebook have done that wonderful thing of changing things around again, so I can't get on live on my laptop, so I had to quickly go and grab everything to be able to do it on my phone. So I apologise for my 1 minute past 7 as opposed to being on time at 7. Now, with everything that's going on in the world, I'm just looking over my computer because I'm now needing to switch things off that were up beforehand. So I apologise for not giving you my full attention. Yeah, let me just double check that this is coming through now and that you can hear me loud and clear. So if you are on live now, can you give me a thumbs up or a yes, Jules, or I got you, babes, or whatever you prefer? I know idea why I said I got you, babes. So it does look like it's coming through. Excuse me, I'm going to hear myself back just to double check. But yes, there we go. Yeah. So it's there. I can see it's there. Hurrah. So yes, apologies, not the preparation that I had set out to do. Because I had everything all chilled and ready to go. I was just having some nice meditation time, chill out time before I came online to do this. And yeah, Facebook have changed things again. I like change, but when it's sprung and it means you need to go and download this and do that and get this bit in and that bit in, it's just like, dudes, that's not what this was about. It was meant to be something that's nice and easy, and you're making it difficult. Anyway. Hello, enough of my little rant. So my name's Jules Wyman. If I've not met you before, good evening. For those of you that are joining live, do drop down and say hi. And if you're watching on the recording, then please do say hi as well, because even though I can't give you a personal shout out, this wave is just for you. I will, anytime you type in throughout this evening's conversation, I always come back and interact with people. So if you're watching live, please do say hi. Let me know that there's some real people out there, because all I seem to be doing, as most people are doing, is talking to people via a screen at the moment. And it would be lovely to get some interaction live. So if you are watching live, please do say hi. Give me some thumbs up. Let me know that you're okay. So I'm not going to be able to, or I might be able to actually, by looking past the camera and looking at my computer. And I do apologise for those of you who just come on and thinking, why is she not giving me her full attention? Facebook, that's the facility I'm using, just decide, or whenever, have just changed things. I don't know who that is that gave me a lovely heart then. But they've just changed things just as I've just gone to get on, and there's thumbs up just gone up there as well. And so therefore I couldn't get on properly. And it's also judging by, okay, well, it's a good job I've got both things on, because on this camera, I can't see your comments underneath there. Oh, yes, I can just see yours now, Bev, but I can see, hi, Bev, but I can see that Teresa has said hi on the other one, and it's not come up down here, which is odd. So anyway, I should keep an eye on both. How are you all doing? How's things where you are? Do let me know. Usually, the last Monday of the month is a question time anyway. It's an open forum where you can ask whatever questions that you want anyway. That's the normal MO on the last Monday of the month, and it is the last Monday of the month, and I'm quite pleased that it's fallen at this point, because I have a sneaking suspicion that many of you, I feel like I'm really close to the camera, but I haven't got anywhere else I can move it back to. Let's see if that will help. I feel like I'm on top of you, and not in a good way for anybody. Hey Jane, how are you doing? There we go. And I didn't say thank you for the compliment, Bev. Thank you. Yes, so it's usually a question time anyway on the last Monday of the month, and I think that it's even more appropriate to be doing it now. And again, apologies for the fiddling of the camera. This was all set up to do on my laptop, and Facebook have changed things, so I had to grab things at the last minute, so it's not quite set up as I would prefer it to be. However, I'm here, I'm alive and live in more ways than one. So some of you may know, because you are wonderfully liking the page, getting the notifications, and you're on my mailing list. So you will know that I have been doing free webinars to help people during this exceptional time. I had one last week on last Wednesday night on boosting your immune system with my wonderful friend Geeta Taylor. I did one on Friday. Hey Tracy. I did one on Friday about fear and facing uncertainty. Hey Carly, I haven't seen you for a long time. I hope you're well. And then this week on Wednesday, the times are all different because it's different people, and we're trying to coordinate diaries and get as many people involved as possible. So on Wednesday, I've got my wonderful friend Lisa joining me from Australia. So hence why the webinar is going to be at 9 o'clock in the morning. These are all free. All of these people are giving their time. I'm giving my time, just like I do on the Facebook Lives. And we're looking for the best ways to be able to support you with what's going on. So Lisa and I are going to be talking about relationships and how to dive even deeper into love during this kind of time, whatever that may look like. Don't always assume that that means that you have to be in a relationship, because I'm not, and I guarantee you that I will learn something. For those of you just joining, hi, do drop down and say hi. It'd be lovely to give even more of you a shout out, as we've got so many of you joining this evening. And that goes for the same on the recordings as well. And then on Friday, and by the way, I've put the link to this, in fact, and I apologise I'm keeping looking away. It's just I'm having to use, it won't let me pin it. I was going to pin it to the top of the thing, but it won't let me do that, unfortunately. So I've put the link below. As I say, they're free, but you do need to reserve your place. Friday is, I have my accountant, the lovely Andy Locke, coming on, and we're going to talk money. And we're going to be looking at it from a number of different ways and seeing how best we can support you there. So that one's at midday. Next week, I've got another colleague of mine coming on. Hey, Katie, how lovely to have you here as well. I've got another wonderful friend of mine coming on next week. I can't say exactly the topic yet because it'll be around health, but a very different angle to Geeta. And as I say, the whole aim is to get these, just to do what we can to help you. And as ever, the best way to be able to help you is by you telling us whatever it is that you need, because otherwise we're guessing, and we are doing our best to give you what we think you might need. But if there's something specific, hey Susan, haven't seen you on here before. How lovely to have you here. That we don't know specifically what it is that you need. So if there are specific things that you need at this time, then please do let me know. You can either put it in the comments below here. You can direct message me. Tracy's finally managed to get on properly and say hi. Hi Tracy. Or you can direct message me. So if there is a particular topic, or even if you think there's a particular expert that you think it'd be great if I interviewed, gave them the space to come on, then that would be great. These webinars are free. I can't pin the post at the top because Facebook's not letting me. So you might have to scroll through the comments to find it, but the link is there. It's also on this page. So please do go there to be able to find that and get that all sorted and get yourself registered. And even if you can't come to the live webinar, then come register your place anyway, because in the next 24 hours or so after it's aired, you will get an email with the recording link, which will be up for a few days, so you can download that as well, so that you've got that. So I think that's part of my public service announcement where that's concerned. But I am very interested where you are right now. What's going on for you and what do you need? So whilst I'm talking, if you have got a specific question or a specific thing that you would like me to use in this part of the conversation, then please do let me, no problem, Katie, you go do whatever you need to do. Then please do let me know. So you can type now whilst I'm talking and giving the overview, because the confidence conversations, if you are new to the confidence conversations, they happen every Monday at 7 p.m. UK, which it is right now. Good job I remembered, because the clocks did change yesterday and I forgot. So I did have a very long lie-in. But the purpose of them every single week is to help you with any particular queries, questions, topics around personal development, spiritual development, growth. I may or may not have the answers, but I can give you certainly viewpoint, if not resources or other people to look at where that's concerned. But what is helpful this evening, hey Ellie, what is helpful this evening is it's the last Monday of the month, and every last Monday of the month is actually an open forum anyway, so where you can ask me any topic. I haven't brought a theme at all. This is about what do you need at this moment in time. So, and I have cleared my diary. Thank you for whoever's doing the hearts and the loves. I can't actually see, but much appreciated. I haven't got a theme. What are we going to do? Because this is about you. This is about whatever you need at this moment in time. Whatever you may be experiencing, we are in exceptional times. This is a new landscape for everybody. Some people may have experienced a particular quarantine of some description, either by themselves or in a community before, but we haven't had this mass side of things. And I appreciate that for a number of people, this is a challenging time. So I'm here to help, but I equally I'm not a mind reader, and I don't know what you need. So if you have a specific question that you want to ask, can't always guarantee that I've got the answer, but as I say, if you want that, then do type it now whilst I'm talking, so that we can have a conversation around that and see where it goes. And actually, just a reminder, even if you are watching this on the recording, that the same thing goes for you. If you've got questions that you would like to have answered, and you've not been able to watch this live, and you're like, oh, I really would have liked to have asked about this or that, then you can still put it in the comments. And as I've said, I always come back and have a written conversation as opposed to a verbal interaction. So I have got some questions that came in about 3-4 weeks ago, roughly. So before all of this stuff started to kick off, but I do think that both of them are relevant. So I know that the person who sent these in does watch these regularly. I don't know whether she's on here live or whether she's going to watch it on the recording. And I'm just going to, I'm sort of taking the bulk of the question out and just sifting through the bits that I think would be relevant right here, right now to probably most people, and see where we go from there. So the first question was asked around struggling, what to do when you're struggling, and it was framed up around I'm struggling with stress and anxiety. And I find this very interesting that this came in, as I say, about 4 or 5 weeks ago, I think it was, and before we were in the situation that we are now. And I think that this is relevant to a lot of people and how a lot of people may be experiencing what's happening right now. So, one thing I did forget to say about this video, obviously, please feel free to invite people to the page and like the page, and please feel free to share it. Oh dear, brain's gone. So, stress and anxiety, they are the two things that this particular person was asking about, and I thought that it would be a very pertinent topic to have a conversation around and start things off. And I'm just wondering, If you would describe yourself as somebody that's experiencing either or of those, so stress or anxiety, on a scale of 0 to 10, where 0 is the bottom, you're kind of zen-like and chilled out, and 10 is you're on the ceiling and kind of really worried. Where would you place yourself? Just put a number in the box below, in the comments below. Where would you place yourself? Whether you think it's stress, or whether you think it's anxiety, or whether you think it's both, where would you place yourself on that scale of 0 to 10? Let me just check that I'm getting... Hey, Richard. So Tracy said anxiety 6. Ellie said stress level 9. Thank you, ladies. Anybody else? Because I think there's a couple of things that I think is important for us to recognise. One, I think it's important for us to recognise that it's not just us that may be having that experience. But I also think it's important for us to check in with ourselves where we're at, and then look at where we think that we can go to. Hey, Richard, where we think we can go to and what we think we can do with that. So I know for me, I think it was last week. Yeah, I think it was last week. Richard said stress 5. Thanks, Rich. So I know for me, there was one evening last week where I had a meltdown and burst into tears. And I know some of you will be like, what? You can't possibly do that. You're a confidence coach. You have everything sorted. No, I'm a human being. And I know that in that moment, A, I didn't make myself wrong for what was happening. But B, also I was conscious of not wallowing in any stories. And what I mean by that, and part of the reason I'm looking in that direction is because my stairs are over there. And it was my stairs that I sat on to have my cry. And I sat there and I was like, what's going on? And it was like, I don't know. There was no stories in my head. There wasn't any conversation around, oh, poor me, this is awful, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, or whatever. It was like a wave that once I didn't try and contain it or anything like that, it was a wave. It came to a crest and then it fell away again. So it didn't last for long for me. But that's because it's become a practice thing. And I think one of the practices that's important is distancing ourselves from these stories. So one of the things that I've been looking at for about a year, 2 years, and I've got curious as the dialogue around, or the word anxiety has become more prominent in people's conversation, and people being diagnosed as anxious or having some kind of anxiety disorder, is I've been looking at what are the commonalities that I'm noticing in conversation that I'm having with people around that. And one of the commonalities that I notice is that people don't seem to be able to have anxiety when they're in the present moment. What I mean is that everyone that I speak to about anxiety is when they only seem to experience anxiety when they are focusing on the future, and there is or are story or stories around what the future is going to be like. I'm never going to get this done, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, what if this happens, possibly that's going to happen. And when these stories happen and we attach to it, we engage with it in some way, shape or form, that's what causes us that any level to rise up, because from a thinking mind perspective, we don't have any control over that, and our worries about the future, our fears about the future, is because we're trying to control the outcome. And because there's a part of this, it's like this conflict, I think, that goes on, that we go through. I want to control the outcome. I want the outcome to be this, but I know that the outcome, I don't know what the outcome's going to be, and I'm out of control. So we have this conflict that goes on, and I think that's where those two conflicts are pulling in a different direction. And if you pull two things in a different direction, if you had like two ends, I'm trying to see if I've got something and I haven't really, But if you've got two, I can choose my headphones. There we go. I knew they were there for a reason. But if you've got one end of that here and you've got the other end here, and they're pulling, then that's going to cause tension here. That's going to cause stress on this thing because they're pulling in the opposite direction. I have to have control, but I haven't got any control. I have to have control, but I haven't got any control. And that's what's going to be causing that tension. And because we're trying so desperately to grasp hold of the future and control the future, that's where I think anxiety starts to come. That's where it rises up. Let me know if this makes sense, by the way. I'm not sure. I'm still not sure. I'm not convinced that all the comments are coming up down here and whether they're... In fact, if I move my laptop over, that would make it easier. Look, I wouldn't have to keep doing that. So let me know if that is making sense. Just as I said that, some thumbs went up. Perfect timing. Okay. I want to be able to plan as a teacher person, but uncertainty is introduces too many variables. Absolutely makes sense, says Katie. Yeah, that's the thing, Tracy, is uncertainty does bring variables and far too many variables. And to a certain degree, I think this is one of the gifts that this time, don't worry about what if, because what ifs it's not. I think I know what you mean there. I think I know what you mean, Katie. So when we're trying to plan, because in this situation there are so many variables, that I think that this is potentially, and I'm speaking from my own perspective here, that this is a great lesson in not trying to hold on or create or forcibly construct the future, because the future doesn't exist. Neither does the past. I know that can Scooby some people's heads, but neither of them exist. The only thing that exists is this moment, nothing else. To think about the past, I have to construct memories and re-engage with stuff from the past, so it's coming from my imagination. To think about the future, I have to engage with my imagination and think that up. And that, using both of those to think about, especially if you're looking to plan, can be really helpful. But if we're looking to do it every minute of every day, that's where those stresses and anxieties are going to be coming in, because it's going to be that either level of friction or that tension of pulling apart, causing that stress and tension. So linking it into what you're saying there, Tracy, about you're trying to plan because you're a teacher, and I know you're a teacher and a great teacher at that, but uncertainty introduces too many variables, that there needs to come a point where you look at, okay, well, I can only do this bit, and I will wait and see what the next bit is. And that's unnerving for a lot of people. That's really unnerving. Now, we are not. There are some people, and I know I do have people on here that are in the healthcare profession, and they do need to be thinking ahead in a different way to the way that we are. But unless we're in emergency services, for the majority of us, we don't need to be thinking in that way ahead. We need to bring ourselves into the present moment. And when we bring ourselves into the present moment, then we've got the opportunity to deal with what is right now. So I went onto the computer, went to load up as I would do normally to do my Facebook Live, and it wasn't, well, I would have meant downloading this to be able to get it to work. So the old version of me years ago would have got into a right old flap about it and got really annoyed and probably shouted at Facebook, because Facebook can hear me, right, if I shout at them. Well, actually, they probably can, but that's a different conversation. And I probably would have stamped a few things down and come on here and tried to be all smiley when actually I was a bit annoyed. Rather than just going, right, okay, well, that's not working that way. What have I got? Where's my tripod? I knew I brought my tripod home for a reason. There, it's there. Okay. Looked up and it was 7 o'clock. And again, the old version would have been, oh my gosh, I'm late, and got myself all stressed. And what are people going to think about me? That's future thinking. Rather than just going, I can only deal with getting on as quickly as I can and apologise for when and if I am late. That's it. All I can deal with is this bit. plug the phone in, get it on the tripod, get everything lined up. That's why it doesn't have any subject on this video, because literally I was like, just hit start and I'll put in a comment later, I'll put in a title later. When we're trying to plan so much, we are trying to control. And I heard somebody was talking about certainty and uncertainty the other day, and in relation to stockpiling and people buying lots of things, and that the majority of people don't think that they are control addicts. Most people say control freaks, but there's too many freaks for it to be freakish. We're addicts, control addicts. That's how the thinking mind works. So we need to be mindful of that, of that being how the thinking mind works, that it likes control, it needs control, it's hankering after control. So when we're taken out of the situation, which is our everyday routine that we know, we think we have control of, etc., and that's all changed, and there's so many variables, as you said earlier, Tracy, that's going on. It's like, okay, what can I deal with right now? I put a load of washing in yesterday, and my washing machine has stopped working with a load of washing in, and I can't get the door open, and I can't get the front off to see if there's any water in there to drain that. So there was a part of me that wanted to go into the drama of, well, what am I going to do, and how am I going to get that out? And if they will deliver a washing machine, but they won't bring it into the house, and how can I bring one there? And there's all these different things. And I know that my thinking wants to get engaged in that drama. And it's like, look, all I can deal with is I'm doing this right now. When I've got the headspace, then I'll look at that. But there's no point in me fretting about it now. I couldn't do anything about it last night. I couldn't do anything about it today. I've been working all day. Once I finish this, somebody's going to be getting changed, tying their hair up, putting scruffy clothes on and seeing what they can do with the washing machine. But up until this point, it's not had my attention, because there's nothing I can do about it. So there's no point in me getting anxious. Again, the old version of me wanted to go into, well, what am I going to do? How am I going to wash my clothes? How am I going to get... And it would have made up all these stories. And those stories are what then exacerbates that anxiety and that stress. Does this make sense? Is this helping? When you think about it in this way, what happens to those numbers that you were thinking of? And some of you put those numbers in there. When you think about those numbers and you think, well, okay, well, what can I deal with just right here, right now? What happens to those numbers? Do they stay the same? Do they go up? Do they go down? What happens for you? Don't forget to pull the plug out first. Yes, thank you for that. As in, don't worry about what if, anxiety future, because what if it's not yes, okay, what you worried about what didn't happen. Well, it's the thing about, it's understandable. The thinking mind is driven towards looking for what could go wrong, because it thinks it has to do the same job as the primal mind of protecting us and keeping us safe. So there is a part of that that's helpful, where it's casting into the future to keep you safe. However, for the majority of us, the majority of the time, we are safe, even amongst what's going on. Believe it or not, the majority of us are safe. I don't want to go into my view on the numbers, but we are safe. Okay? So therefore, we could do with just looking at, well, what do I need to do right now? What can I do right now? What's this one bit that I can do right now? Not anything else. Not anything else that I have to do. It's what can I do right now? And when you focus on this one moment, for me anyway, that so-called anxiety, it just drops away. Every single time it just drops away. And linking in, what I was going to follow on with what Katie has said, is that when you can either, so Katie, this is the top of the ladder. I know that you know, and some of the others on here will know this, but for those of you who've been on my course, you'll know what I'm referring to. That this top of the ladder, this is where the imagination is, and it's thinking things up, and it will go into, but what if this goes wrong, and what if I get ill, what if I can't pay the rent, what if I lose my job, what if this happens, what if, all of these different what ifs. And what would happen if you made up the opposite? Well, what if I'm healthy? What if I come out of this even better than I did before? What if I take the time to live in a different way? What if I can be calm? What if calm already exists? those two things are both imagined. They're both imagined. Neither of them are real. But one's going to make you feel shit, technical term, apologies for those who've got young ears around you, and one's going to make you feel good. So if I gave you the choice where something's going to make you feel crap, something else is going to make you feel good, which one are you going to give your attention to? I haven't found somebody yet when I've done this with them that they go, oh, actually, I want to feel crap. Because people want to feel good, right? So if you want to feel good, you've got to think good. And that's one way of doing it. If you play around, whenever you hear the what if it all goes wrong, well, what if it all goes right? Bring those two things together, because you can't have one without the other, but you can get whichever one that you give your attention to is what's going to be growing. That's where your focus and your attention will expand. And I've just looked up and seen the time. How can I possibly miss the time when I've got a clock that size behind me? But I have. So I really wanted to make sure that bit at least was covered, because I think it's important for us to recognise that. It is important for us to look at what we can do in this moment rather than projecting out into the future. So from my perspective, thanks Jules, talking sense as always, got to feed the kids. Go feed the kids, Richard. They're important. Give them my regards and big safe hugs from me. So it's important for us to stay in the present moment. It's important for us to take some deep breaths, because that is going to help us be more present and not get caught up in. A lot of the media is going to be flaming, and I think I have said this recently, it's going to be flaming fear. Sounds like a good rock band. Flaming Fear, tonight at the Dublin Castle. But what we need to do, I apologise, but what we need to do is step away from that. Step away from using emotive language, step away from listening to that emotive language, and just be with the present situation. We are in a situation. That's it. It's a situation that I certainly haven't experienced before. I'm finding my way through it, as I'm sure you are. And every day is different. Every moment is different. But I'm finding my way through it, as are you, bit by bit, inch by inch. And the way we can do that is by staying present. So as there's no other questions that I can see anyway, let me have a quick check that I've seen. I think I've seen all the comments that have come in. So I thought it was important to talk about that this evening, especially as I say, that it was a question. It wasn't related to the situation that we are currently experiencing. So I thought I would take it out of that context and slip it into this, because I thought the way it was framed up about I'm struggling with stress and anxiety, I'm saying that, and just checking that is what was sent in, that it's important for us to recognise that, and it's important to recognise that all we can deal with is this moment. So I want to remind you again that there's the webinars. They're free. Even if you can't make them live, then register, and then you can get the recordings afterwards. I will keep going back to the page, the one that I've put on here, the link on here, because I'll be adding more as time goes on. If there is a specific thing that you would like me to talk about, whether it be on the Facebook Live, or whether it's on the Facebook Live that I normally do on a Monday night, or whether it's another topic, it might be something then that would fuel a blog post, or me doing another video. I am doing my best to do some more little videos every day, just 5-minute ones. I've forgotten to put one of them today on here, which I will go and do after this. But I want you to know that I'm in whatever capacity I can be, I'm here for you. But I don't know what that looks like, as in I don't know what you need. And I keep saying that, but it's true. Whether you're watching this live now or whether you're watching it on the recording, this is my, I don't want to say, I don't know what the right word is. Plea? I suppose it's a plea. My plea to you is to stay in contact with me and let me know what you need. How best can I serve you right now? I honestly do not have all the answers. All I do have is probably access to resources that most people don't have, and that would be the 15, 20 odd years worth of doing this work for myself, for others, the kind of contacts and peer groups that I'm in, and therefore that level of resources, let alone anything else as well. So, but I will just, unless I hear from you on specific things, then I will just stick to what I'm doing normally with regard the Facebook Lives on a Monday night. But if there is something else you want more of, aside from these and the webinars, then please do let me know. Please ask me. If you are not already on my, would somebody do me a favour, please, and type my website, because my computer's just shut down and I can't reach the keyboard without knocking the phone over. Would somebody do me a favour and please type my website below? That would be really handy, which is juleswyman.com. That would be really handy. On there, if you don't know already, if you haven't got it already, there is a free download of a seminar, a webinar that I did a number of years ago now, but it's still got some great content on there called The 7 Keys of Confidence. It's completely free. And when you sign up for it, you'll see there's a little box underneath to say, to ask you whether you want to be, stay in touch when up to date. When you tick that, you get even more information. It's not, it's like twice a month. It's not me bombarding your emails or your inbox. Thank you so much, Tracy, much appreciated. And that's where you'll get a heads up as to when blogs go up and special things that I do just for people on the newsletter. Little gifts for you and insights. Thank you, Bev. You've got it twice now, peeps, no excuse. So, and I was just waiting for a third one to pop up as well. But that's there. If you are part of a team, staff, organisation, whatever configuration of those words, and you think that there may be a way that I can support them, then please do get in touch and ask. I have been doing videos for clients this week on various different tools that they can, last week even, it's only Monday, that they can use to help them stay calm, help them find their way through this. And so if that's something that you think would be of value to you or to your teams, then let me know. Can jump on the phone and have a conversation around that and put something together for you. And if there's something that you want help with, support with personally, then let me know. You can always direct message me on here. Nobody else is admin on this page. It's just me, little old me, company of one. And so no one else is going to see it. I do reply to everything. Please bear with me if it's not a quick response, because I'm juggling all sorts of different things, but I do get back to people. So if you've got a personal request about something, particular comment, question, concern, whatever, then let me know. But I do want to explicitly say that I am here for you, but I can only be here for you and serve in the way that I think that you need. But if there's something else that I'm not doing that you think I need to be doing, then please do let me know and I will do whatever I can. I can't promise I can do every single request that comes in, but I will do my very best. I hope that you found this conversation around stress and anxiety helpful this evening. If you have a specific topic that you would like covered on the confidence conversations, then you can message me about that. And if anyone's got any ideas as to what colour this would be so that I can do my roots whilst I'm at home, then that would be great. Or I might just leave it and see what happens on the other side of whenever we get out. I don't know. I don't care. I'm not bothered about things like that. Otherwise, I wouldn't have shown you my roots. I hope that you are well. Take care of yourselves. Drink plenty of water. Take plenty of nice deep breaths, both in and out. Rest well, stretch well, and stay in contact. Let me know what you need, and I am here for you. Look after yourselves. And as I say nearly every week now, in a world where you can be anything, please be kind, first and foremost, to yourself, so that you can be kind to others. Take care. Bye.